Hey, how you doing? Welcome to week 2 of our class. I want to make a video to walk you through what you're doing for this week. I'm pretty sure you already know, but just to walk you through how do things work with discussion board. So let's take a look. Behind me, you can see here a discussion board. Um, so this is this week's. This is what you have a lot of reading to do, you have some study to do, but here's the questions that I want you to work with this week. Number one, answer these questions, right? What are the core values of your culture? Now, with all of this stuff, when I talk about your culture, as far as what your culture is defined as, that's up to you. You get to define your own culture. So, what are the core values of that culture, right? And what people, places, performance, festivals, any other events represent or symbolize the values of your culture? How does this illustrate how the culture is learned, shared, symbolic, all encompassing, and integrated? You may also discuss other cultures with which you're familiar or about which you might have information. So, for example, if I was answering this question, I grew up in America, in Oregon. So I come from a small American town. So my culture would reflect that as far as like events and things that symbolize the values of my culture. Those would all be related to church because the culture I grew up in was very white American Christian. I'm not that now, but that's what my culture is. And so that's what I'd talk about, how that had to do with that. But I could also branch off and talk about other cultures that I know a lot about. Maybe I'd want to talk about my current culture more than the culture I was raised with. So I'm an out gay man. So that's a totally different culture I could talk about, right? Or I could talk about other cultures that I'm really familiar with. I've lived in Japan for a few years. So maybe I want to discuss that. It's really up to me and up to you for this assignment. So part 2 there, you see it says describe an ethnographic research study that you find online. Be sure to post the link so we can learn more about your findings. So that's going to take you finding an ethnographic research study online, which is actually not as hard as it might sound when I just say the words. You'll do it. You'll do just fine. Let me know if you have any problems. And then number 3, post your proposal for your ethnography assignment for peer review from other students and for my review. If you're undecided, that's okay. We're just getting started. This is week 2, right? But I want you to at least post a few ideas for your ethnography assignment as the class discussion could prove helpful. You might get some good information from other people, and also it gives me a chance to give you my feedback on whether or not I think that's a great idea or what, or if I have some direction that I think you could go. Who knows? Who knows? But that's also what your classmates are supposed to help you do for each other too, right? So when you look at these discussion boards this week and you want to comment on each other's, that's a really good place to post comments. Look at what other people are saying they're going to do and give them ideas, right? Like what stuff you could add to that. But also react to everything else too. You're gonna learn a lot about people's cultures this week. It's a good time to celebrate that and tell them any parts that you think are interesting or surprising or cool. That's perfect. So hopefully this makes sense, and I'll see you guys on the discussion board.